Are you a customer-obsessed person? What does customer obsession mean to you? When I grew up, everybody was talking about the customer is king or queen, or the customer is always right. But what's customer obsession? Tech companies like to talk about it. If Microsoft, Amazon, and others, we talk about customer obsession. Now, in my 9 years here at Microsoft, almost 9 years, I have worked in customer-facing roles. I've worked now at corp roles, and it amazes and astonishes me over and over again. It's really on a weekly basis where I see of how customer-obsessed just so many here are to really try to do right. But I also see that sometimes customer obsession is mistaken for the customer is always right. And that's just wrong. The customer isn't always right. If you have kids, I think it's fair to assume that you're obsessed about the well-being of your kids and you're obsessed about that they have a successful future, right? But that doesn't mean that you're gonna say yes to everything they ask. If they ask you to eat a pound of ice cream before dinner, you most likely say no. And that does not mean that you're not obsessed about your kids. It just means you're a good parent. And so when we're talking to customer, it's super important that we're not just saying, yes, oh, I want this product to do X. Maybe this product was never designed to do X, and trying to force it to make X is not gonna make anybody happy at all. It's gonna set the customer up to fail. And if the customer fails, we're definitely not obsessed with the success of our customers. One example in my own life, almost a decade ago, I did some renovation in the apartment in Switzerland, freshly married, to move in. And we wanted to open up, because who doesn't like an open concept or an open kitchen? So there was this wall, needed to go. I called the contractor, I said, hey, I'd like to take this wall out. They said, yeah, it's gonna be $40,000, definitely we can do that. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but $40,000 is way too much. Look at this wall, that makes no sense. No, I can't afford that. So I got frustrated, I almost gave up. I called different places. Then this one contractor got recommended to you. I called them, he came, took a look, and he said, I hear you, but listen, this is a load-bearing wall. It's gonna be very expensive to make this work. Unless if you work with me and we can leave 3 to 4 feet here on the left side, then I probably get a sign off to just use a double T steel bar on top of it. And then I can probably do it for around $13,000. In the end, it was a little bit less than $13,000, but guess what? I was satisfied completely. I recommended that contractor so many times. If I would have to do any construction project in Switzerland going forward, this is the company I'm gonna call, period. Because he understood what I wanted to do. He knew spending $40,000 is ridiculous. That doesn't make sense. It's like saying, I want this, super racetrack car, and I want to go to the Dakar Rally with it, and I don't want to spend more money than this Ford. Let's just pick an F-150. You can't have it all for that price, it's just not possible, right? So you can't say yes or even try to achieve, you gotta educate. And this person, this contractor understood, I want a more open kitchen. He also knew spending $40,000 is ridiculous and probably out of my budget. I probably wouldn't even be able to recover the cost when I sell the place. So he came up with even something better. It's affordable, it makes sense, and it actually achieved what we wanted to get done. So it was a win-win. And lucky me, I have a few more examples that just recently here in the US, but it's still the exception, it's not the norm. Most of the time when I have interaction, I need to buy something, if that is a car, an appliance, a service around the house, it's usually not like that. But if you work in a customer-facing role, and I don't care in which field that is, take that to heart. Take that to heart. If the customer asks for something, try to understand. Don't just say yes, don't just assume the customer is right, he doesn't know. And yes, a lot of us do a lot more homework, and you don't have to tell us everything about the TV. Many of us, the customer journey starts online, we do reviews, but still, try to figure out what exactly it is your customer wants to achieve. Because even if certain times when you just said yes and say, oh yeah, here's the premium product you asked for, thank you. Even if that could be short-term success, if you do right by them, if you're truly obsessed with them, and again, not just say yes, but obsessed with their future, with the success in the future, just how parents are obsessed with the future of their kids and their well-being, the benefits in the long term outweigh anything else. Let's just cover the top 4 benefits this will help you. First of all, if you do right by them, it's gonna lead to very, very satisfied customer. I was super satisfied with the results of the wall and how they took it out. Secondly, it will lead to that, in my case and in your case, they will recommend you, your product or service, whatever it is to offer, because you had their best interest at heart. And third, it establishes trust. If the customer trusts you, that's the place you want to be, the trusted advisor. Because if he truly trusts you and the first to benefit is just always happen with you again, then you can bet he's probably not even compare different bits, because he just knows, you know what, that person tells me how it really is, thinks with it, knows what I want, and then delivers on it. And you have almost guaranteed work with that person going forward until you disappoint them. But that's a different story. But if you continue that way, that path, you will be successful. And that obviously is the 4th benefit. In the long term, this is what's going to make you successful in your career, guaranteed. Whoever is your stakeholders, if your customer-facing role are obsessed about their well-being and the future of them, then that will bring you success. And with that, the Dave Kurt out.